If your shoulders feel like they just went through a meat grinder, but overhead presses are in today's workout, I'm going to show you a couple of variations that will allow you to find something that lets you keep training even when your shoulders aren't feeling 100%. So I like to break down overhead pressing shoulder pain into two really broad categories when I'm working with my clients that come to see me in physical therapy. And that's people that have pain on the initiation of the lift and people that have pain more at in range when they lock out overhead. And when you identify which of those two you have, you'll understand that there are a lot of different variations you can train that will continue to build up those muscles and your overall overhead pressing strength without making the shoulder feel significantly worse. So let's start by talking about the variations that I like to use when somebody has pain in that initiation, from where the bar is sitting on the shoulders or dumbbell sitting on the shoulders until it gets about past your head. If that's you, the three variations I want you to consider are, first of all, the push press. So the push press is going to be my favorite here because it's going to allow us to still train through full range of motion, train with a really heavy weight, but that little leg drive and dip is going to get rid of a lot of the shoulder force that has to be generated in the initiation, and it's still going to really work that lockout strength. So that's usually my number one go-to if somebody's shoulder is not wildly irritated. But there are times where I have to get a little bit more aggressive with my modifications as well. So the second one I like to do is either an Arnold press or a Philly press shown here. So with either of those variations, that rotating initiation of the press very frequently just loads the shoulder differently enough that you don't get that irritation as you first begin pressing overhead. These are a great movement pattern for building your overhead strength, great from a hypertrophy perspective of the shoulders, and you're training through full range of motion. So another great choice. At times, we have to completely avoid that initiation range of motion. And when that's the case, I really love doing seated pin presses. So I'm going to sit on a bench. I'm going to set my safety bars to where the barbell's sitting right at the top of my head. So I'm starting from a dead stop. And I really prefer to do these with bands so we challenge that lockout strength even more. But this is a very tough variation that's great for building your lockout strength in things like the bench, your handstand push-up, and your overhead pressing. The next category we have are people whose shoulders get irritated at in range. So they're fine when they start pressing, but it's when they get to the very top. In that situation, I do want you to be considering looking at mobility because very frequently that in-range pain comes down to stiffness in your upper back or stiffness in your shoulders. If you want a few tests for that, in the link of this video will be my ultimate mobility checklist. I'll show you exactly the tests you need to do to identify what might be holding your mobility back. But the variations that I like to use in these individuals are, number one, the landmine press, especially in half kneeling. So this is going to work our shoulder from the bottom position up to about 75% of the range overhead. So we're just going to avoid that in range. And as the shoulder starts to tolerate more range of motion overhead, I might even start that with my torso lean forward a little bit more so that I train that in range overhead position slightly more as things calm down. The second variation that I like to do here is an incline press, and specifically with a close grip. Because in the incline press, you don't quite hit full shoulder flexion, but that incline close grip bench press is absolutely killer on your triceps and your anterior deltoids. You're going to find that if you get that stronger, when you get back to overhead pressing, your overhead pressing is also going to be significantly stronger in the long term. The final thing that I do like to note that kind of applies to both the initiation press and the in-range press pain is that a lot of times simply going from a barbell where you're locked in a specific position to dumbbells or kettlebells and coming into a more neutral position here can be just the trick to let you press hard and heavy through full range of motion, or by doing one of the slight variations we've already talked about without really stirring your shoulder up. So consider going neutral grip overhead presses as well. Hey, if you're looking for medical providers that are going to help you navigate all of this stuff, not only help calm down this shoulder pain, but help you understand what you can and shouldn't be doing in the gym, then also click the link in my bio for Onward Physical Therapy locations. So our team of physical therapists all around the country are fitness forward PTs. We live and breathe the gym, and we are going to find ways to help you move around your pain and keep pushing your health and fitness forward, not just telling you, hey, it's time to take a few weeks off. We don't do that at Onward Physical Therapy.